Picture absolute darkness. Not the darkness of a room with the lights off, not the darkness of a moonless night. Absolute darkness. The kind that has never, not once in the entire history of the Earth, been touched by sunlight. You are 8,500 feet beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean. The pressure around you is 250 times what you feel right now. The temperature is just above freezing. And you are not on the sea floor. You are floating in open water, a vast three-dimensional expanse of black nothingness stretching for miles in every direction. Nothing should be swimming freely through this. And yet, there in the beam of the ROV's floodlight, something appears. What swims into view is, simply put, an impossible apparition. Imagine a creature roughly the size of an apple, but with tissue as thin and delicate as spun glass. As it drifts into the light, you notice a massive billowing hood at its front end, and at the back, a flat, paddle-like tail fringed with small, finger-like projections. Its skin is so completely translucent that you can see straight through to its brightly colored internal organs, glowing softly from within, like tiny suspended lanterns. And the most extraordinary part, it has no fins, no tentacles. It moves by slowly pulsing that cavernous, gelatinous hood, undulating through the permanent dark. To really grasp how bizarre this creature is, we need to talk about the space it actually occupies. Scientists call it the midnight zone, the bathypelagic zone, and it is, essentially, a massive three-dimensional void. Down here, deep in the water column, nutrients are almost unimaginably sparse. Every single meal is a rare event. Survival in this crushing, freezing darkness means burning as little energy as possible. Almost every known creature that inhabits this specific layer of the ocean has, over millions of years of evolution, given up on active movement entirely. They hang motionless. They wait. Swimming freely out here is an extraordinarily expensive biological luxury, one that almost nothing on Earth can actually afford. And that is exactly what makes this ghostly sighting the beginning of one of the most fascinating detective stories in modern marine biology. This translucent little ghost was first captured on an ROV camera by the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute in February of 2000. Over the following 2 decades, researchers piloted their submersibles back into the deep and spotted it again and again and again. They accumulated over 150 independent sightings. They watched it pulse through the water. They filmed it hunting. They documented its glowing body in remarkable detail. And yet, for 20 solid years, some of the most brilliant marine biologists on the planet had absolutely no idea what they were looking at. Then, in December of 2024, the mystery was solved. And the answer was a complete biological shock. After carefully collecting specimens and running detailed anatomical and genetic analyses, scientists confirmed that this extraordinary deep-sea swimmer is a nudibranch. It is a sea slug. And I cannot overstate how completely this shattered the existing rulebook. Every sea slug known to science before this discovery was a crawler, creatures that live on things, that cling to coral reefs, that slide across tide pool rocks, that slowly inch across the ocean floor. Finding a sea slug swimming freely in the open water blackness of the midnight zone is the biological equivalent of finding a bird that has decided to live entirely underground. It is an evolutionary absurdity made real. And it goes further than that. This creature was not simply a new species or even a new genus. Its biology and genetics are so radically divergent from every other sea slug on Earth that scientists had to create an entirely new branch on the evolutionary tree. A brand new family, created specifically and solely for this one animal. They called it Bathydeviidae. And that name carries a small scientific inside joke. The root word devious, meaning devious or out of the way, was chosen as a quiet, playful nod to the animal's extraordinary talent for concealment. For 20 years, it had successfully hidden its true identity from the best minds in marine biology. The mystery only deepens when we examine how this animal actually survives out there. It turns out, Bathydevius caudactylus is an ambush trapper. To catch the tiny crustaceans that occasionally drift through the dark, It uses that massive gelatinous hood, the way a Venus flytrap uses its leaves. It hangs absolutely motionless in the water, hood wide open, waiting. The moment a small, shrimp-like creature wanders into range, the slug snaps the hood shut with remarkable speed and precision, jets backward, and seals its meal inside. MBARI scientist Stephen Haddock described it perfectly. The creature, he said, is essentially trapping its prey inside a living grocery bag. This hunting strategy works because of a profound internal adaptation. This animal has engineered an extraordinarily low-energy lifestyle. When scientists measured its metabolism using specialized deep-sea respirometers, they found it processes energy at a rate far closer to a drifting deep-sea jellyfish than to any of its crawling sea slug cousins. By burning almost nothing, it buys itself the one thing it needs most in the sparse emptiness of the midnight zone: the ability to wait, indefinitely, for its next meal. It is a masterclass in deep ocean elegance. But the true magic of the mystery mollusk goes much further than how it eats. Bioluminescence is exceptionally rare among sea slugs. This creature relies on it completely. Scattered throughout its translucent skin are tiny luminous granules, and when they activate, the effect is breathtaking. Across the animal's back, a cold, steady glow appears, almost like a miniature starry night suspended in living tissue. And those finger-like projections fringing its tail, the dactyls, light up with a vibrant, pulsing blue-green intensity, burning bright in the pitch black. But that beautiful glow serves a deeply theatrical purpose. When the mystery mollusk is threatened by a predator, it does not simply attempt to flee. Instead, it intensifies the light in those tail fringes until they are blazing in the darkness. And then, right there, in front of the ROV cameras, scientists watched it do something extraordinary. It detached one of its glowing fingers. It simply dropped it into the water like a flare. And as that detached, brilliantly illuminated piece hung there, pulsing in the blackness, drawing the predator's full attention, the transparent mollusk quietly pulsed its hood and simply vanished into the shadows. And this is not a desperate, one-time act of last resort. The mystery mollusk has developed a fully renewable defense system. Just as a lizard drops its tail to escape a bird, this sea slug can drop a glowing decoy to escape a deep-sea predator, and then simply regrow the missing piece. Researchers filmed individuals swimming with tail dactyls of noticeably varying lengths, clear evidence that they regularly deploy this glowing trick, survive the encounter, and immediately begin regenerating their defensive arsenal for the next time. There is, however, exactly one moment when this free-swimming creature behaves like the sea slugs we know. Like other nudibranchs, it is a simultaneous hermaphrodite, carrying both male and female reproductive organs. When it is finally time to spawn, the mystery mollusk stops drifting. It sinks. It descends out of the water column all the way down to the abyssal mud of the seafloor, uses its snail-like foot to firmly anchor itself to the sediment, touching down just long enough to deposit a delicate ribbon of eggs, before returning to the open dark. Perhaps the most staggering detail of this entire story is where this discovery actually took place. The mystery mollusk was not found in some remote, unmapped trench at the very edge of human exploration. It was found in Monterey Bay, California, in some of the most heavily trafficked, frequently dived, and extensively studied waters on the entire planet. For 20 years, an entirely new family of animals swam directly through the spotlight of our very best technology, hiding in plain sight. It is a profound reminder of the humbling scale of the ocean we have not yet charted. By volume, the Midnight Zone is the largest single habitat on Earth, a vast, ancient, three-dimensional world that wraps around the entire globe. And we still know almost nothing about it. It is a staggering fact of modern science that today we possess sharper, more detailed maps of the dry, dusty surface of Mars than we do of the living water column right here on our own planet. The mystery mollusk lived its entire existence in the dark. perfectly adapted, entirely unknown, simply waiting for the moment a light finally swept across its path. It invites us to look down into that crushing blackness with a completely new sense of reverence. The deep ocean has spent millions of years filling itself with wonders we have not yet imagined. And it will continue long after we have stopped looking.